Hi, this is Rick Kastner with Sonoran Desert Institute, and in this video we're going to be discussing bedding products, bedding procedures to make your firearm more accurate. And in this specific gun we've torn apart and we've talked about stock stabilization methods, and we will link to that video in the description box below or in video, and so be sure to check that out if you want to see methods of doing that. Okay, so why would you want to bed a stock, and what is bedding a stock? Bedding a stock is using some sort of epoxy to get a one-to-one fit between your metal and your wood. And the reason you would want to do that is you want to have consistency in the fit of your action, to control harmonics in the barrels, and to prevent shifting of the action so that your point of impact is consistent all the time. Some of the products that we use for bedding, it would include DEVCON, Acroglass Gel or Acroglass, Marine Tex, Pro Bed 2000, Bedrock, or Steel Bed. There's many different products on there, and you guys will just have to test which ones you like to use. I personally have used Acroglass Gel and Acroglass, as well as DEVCON, and they're good products. I like the Acroglass just by itself. But if you do use Acroglass by itself, you have to remember you'll need to use fiberglass flocking in there as well, which you don't want to breathe, so you want to, when you're mixing it up, use a mask. But I like it because it flows consistently, and you can also dye it so that it can better match your stock or your metal, whatever you want to match. Okay, so different methods. And before we get into the methods of bedding, it's important to know terminology. So from this point right here to the back side of this is known as the action. So from this tang to this front side, this front trunnion, this is known as the action. And then starting from about this point to this point is the barrel. This little flat part that you see on the barrel is the nox, so N or KNOX, nox, and this is the area of focus that we really want to focus on bedding. Depending on the action, you might also full bed the whole action, and depending on what you're doing, you might also want to bed the bottom metal as well. So it's all about application and what you're trying to do, or how loose the fitment is in the metal parts. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually use modeling clay, non-drying modeling clay, and we want to prepare this surface by blocking all of the holes, all of the recesses. We're going to take the trigger group out, we're going to take the bolt out. We're going to break this down to all its bare components, and we're going to be sure to block up any holes in the action so that we don't get our bedding material in there. The last thing you want to do is get your bedding material in there, and it will lock the action into the stock, and you won't be able to get it out without chisels or breaking your stock to pieces. So we want to take our time, and we want to prepare the action correctly. I personally like bedding the full length of the barrel channel, so I will actually block up any pieces that I need, or any parts that I need to, so that anything that comes, will come into contact with the bottom metal or with the metal components, I'll block up with clay, so that it doesn't lock in. Then after all that is done, you've blocked up everything with clay, I'm going to use a release agent that will help me break that lock. And there's different components or different materials you can use for that. They make spray release agent. With Acroglass gel comes with its own proprietary release agent. It's blue. And then you can also use Johnson's paste wax. I've used that in the past, and actually that's probably my go-to is a Johnson's paste wax. And you spread it on, you just coat everything. You don't want to have globs of it, but you just want to make sure it's evenly coated, and maybe put a couple coats on it over the clay and everything, and make sure it's good to go. Put it on the top because you're gonna get bedding material all over the place. Depending on how clean of a job you do, but it has a tendency to work its way up and get places where you think it wouldn't have gone. So just to be safe, you're gonna want to put release agent all over. Another thing to think about is you're gonna want to also get some plumber's tape, 10 mil and 20 mil. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove some of the wood, and so that we have enough area for the bedding material to go in and form around the metal components. So you'll want to wrap the barrel with plumber's tape, 20 mil plumber's tape. You'll inlet that barrel with the tape, and so you'll have 20 mil from here down to the end of the stock, and then you'll inlet that with the 20 mil tape on it. Once it's inletted, then you're going to choose where you want to have a 1-to-1 fit, which is usually to about this point. So from this point forward, then I would then put 10 mil tape on to the end of where the stock ends. And that way I have a 10 mil layer of bedding material that'll be in the barrel channel, as well as a 20 mil layer of bedding material that'll be in the Knox area. And I want a 1-to-1 finish, just like from here to here with the Knox. I'll also potentially, depending on what you want to do, is have a 1-to-1 fit between the action metal and the bedding material in the stock. And you'll want to bed the recoil area. Another important area to apply the 20 mil tape or 10 mil tape, depending on what you want, how loose you want it to fit, is the front side of the recoil lug, so that it's easier to pull it out of the stock when you're done. So I hope that helped you guys in learning how to bed. There's some instances where you guys would want to free float an action instead of free floating the barrel. And what the free floating means is that the part that is 1-to-1 fit is the space that's touching the barrel, but the rest of it, the reason we did a 20 mil piece of tape here and then the 10 mil is once we did a 20 mil, we inletted, and then we did a 10 mil tape and then bedded, is so that once I pull that tape off, then I have a 10 mil free float, which allows the barrel to whip when you shoot, and it improves barrel harmonics and improves accuracy. So we want it controllable. So there's some times where you want to free float the barrel, and there's other times in lower powered firearms like 22 long rifle, specifically a 1022 Ruger 1022, where you would actually free float the action and 1-to-1 fit the barrel all the way down, and that makes it a tack driver. So depending on your application, that will dictate how you bed. But those are the basics on how to bed in action and why you bed in action. If you like this content and you want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe to this video or to our channel, and be sure to check out sdi.edu for more information on our associate's program as well as our certificate. And we look forward to seeing you at SDI, and welcome to the family.